From funny to pointless to just plain stupid, we look at 10 of the most stupid signs. Welcome to another episode of JRP Lists, a weekly show that occurs every Friday. Let's get into it. Our first sign we look at today is pretty simple and straightforward. The top says always open, and the bottom says closed. Isn't that funny? There's not really much I can say about this sign other than the fact that the top of the sign is clearly part of the sign and they can't remove it, and so they had to add the bottom text to say that they were closed. Obviously, that is kind of funny. I put it at number 10 because it's not that funny, but still I just thought it was quite a humorous anecdote that I would add to our list. Coming in with our 9th sign is this one. Let's read this. Get out of the sun. If your skin tone matches this sign. That's really funny because obviously the sign is dark red, so obviously if your skin is that red, then you should not be out there. Man, I kind of want to know where this beach was because that is a funny sign. Coming in at number 8 is this sign from an IKEA store. Let's take a look at this giant hot dog, and the area circled says not actual size. And this is not exclusive to just IKEA. There are so many stores all around the country that have to put this silly disclaimer on their food because you know that some idiot sued them and said that they expected a hot dog 20 feet wide and were very upset when they only got a hot dog a standard 4 inches long. So that's so silly they had to put that up there. And again, it's not the developer's fault, it's actually the people's fault for suing them. So that's pretty funny. Coming in at number 7 is this beautiful street sign. And we're talking about the one in the front here, not in the background. We got stop, don't turn left, don't turn right, don't go backwards, and don't go forwards. The brilliance of this sign is clearly funny. Now, from the way you can tell the sign was set up, you can tell that originally it was just a stop sign, and they gradually added all the restrictive directions from top to bottom. But clearly, the person adding the final direction on the bottom failed to notice that there is no alternative except for the person just to explode and dematerialize in thin air. So this sign is funny. I'm sure it's puzzled quite a few people because where are they supposed to go? Coming in at number 6, this one's really only funny depending on what your views are on gun violence, but still, it's pretty funny because it says, Citizens Against Violence. This home is proudly gun-free. Now again, if that's your political view, I guess that's fine, but to put a sign like that in front of your house is not wise, because you're essentially inviting criminals just break in your house and shoot up the place because they know you have no defense. And just on that concept, if guns are violent, then we can also say the bat that they're probably using to defend themselves is also violent. So I don't even want to get into that, but still, this sign is not a wise idea if you're trying to defend your family from criminals. Coming in at number 5, we have this no pets sign, but right below it, it says all pets must be on a leash. Now obviously the top sign was added first and then the bottom part was added later, but gosh, you think the person putting in the screw of the bottom sign, while he's putting it in, he didn't stop to think about, now wait, it says on top, no pets allowed. So I wonder if it would be a little bit confusing if I put all pets must be on a leash. I guess they're saying, if you're gonna go ahead and break the rule, at least have the pet on a leash. I mean, at least have that much courtesy. This is funny. I mean, it's in front of a house. I don't know if it's a business or not. It must be because it has a chair there. So that leads me to think it's a business. So it's silly that a business would allow this type of sign in front of their place. It's just ridiculous. Coming in at number 4, let's take a look at this sign. The entire sign is just to tell you it's not in use. It says sign not in use. Now again, I could see if there was a sign behind it and then put it on top of it, but this entire sign says sign not in use. The whole sign's existence is to just tell you that it doesn't exist, which it's like a little paradox there. Now, I guess it's possible there's a smaller sign behind it that this one is covering, but it's so giant that you can't even see that to determine that. The time it took for them to attach it, why didn't they just pull the whole pole out of the ground if they don't intend to use it? It doesn't look like an incredibly permanent pole. I think they could take it out. Oh my gosh, this one's stupid. Coming in at number 3, this one's brilliant, guys. And first of all, I apologize for the low quality. There's nothing I could do about it. It says on the front, cyclists dismount and use footpath. Apparently there's a bike race going on. So that's cool. But in the background, there's a sign right in front of the footpath that says footpath closed. Now, I don't know why it's closed. I can see a car parked far down around the pathway, so maybe they had to use it for a makeshift parking lot. But once again, someone had to put out that sign, and they saw the other sign, and yet they thought, well, people will figure it out. So I don't know what kind of contest is going on right now, but what are these cyclists / runners supposed to do? Are they just supposed to fly there? I guess so. Coming in at number 2, this sign defies all logic. It says, caution, this sign has sharp edges. Do not touch the edges of this sign. Okay, now that's a fair warning. You know, you don't want to hurt yourself on something that might be pokey. However, the entire existence of the sign is to tell you that it has sharp edges, unless they're referring to those little tiny symbols on the bottom that says no people and no cars, which just adds to the confusion, because if you're not supposed to walk and you're not supposed to drive, how are you even supposed to see the sign in the first place? If you're even able to read this sign, you're breaking the law of the sign, because you either drove there or you walked there. I guess it didn't roll out scooters, so if you scooted here or used a Segway, then I guess you are approved to read this sign. But the whole point of reading the sign is to just tell you that it has sharp edges and you shouldn't touch it. Man, who made these things? And coming in at number 1, we see this outside a train station, and there's wires all the way around the train station to keep you from trespassing unless you've bought a ticket. And so it says, touching wires causes instant death, $200 fine. So when you touch it, you'll die. But after you die, they'll reanimate you like Frankenstein and then charge you $200 and then let you die again, because they just want to make sure that if the penalty of death is not enough, they'd rather take $200 out of your bank account as just one final slap on the wrist before you go on to the afterlife. Come on, guys. This isn't even 2 separate signs. This is one sign. So someone who put this together was fully aware of it, or at least they should be, or they're just really stupid if they didn't know. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh, that's just stupid. But that's it for today, guys. We have another awesome episode lined up next Friday, so please come back for yet another episode. This has been JRP Lists, and I'll see you next time.